Carter and Lachlan Hannigan, who's on the bench. There's plenty of scope for Whitehaven fans who are dreaming of potentially of a playoff place once again. Going up obviously against who you'd expect to be a playoff contender in the Halifax Panthers, of course, did miss out last year, but they'll be hoping to get this game underway and hoping to show what their credentials are this season. It's going to be Halifax to get us underway through the boot of Joe Keys. Whitehaven going to be attacking left and right from our position in front of here at the main stand, and it's going to be collecting a ball. He's passed along to Ross Ainley, who's going to try and fetch this ball forward for Whitehaven. Fetched down sort of 18 metres away from his own line. It's Carter in at dummy half initially, who's going to bring the ball across to Ryan King, of course, formerly of this parish. Spent a short time here last season before returning to Whitehaven. Did King, the Italian international. Phillips is then going to go left and find Rio Corkill deputising in the second row this afternoon, and that is going to be a penalty for Whitehaven. And of course we're seeing these sort of new interpretations why they do not come into the sort of gear into the professional game next season. I've seen in the early stages, Dave, and you may have seen it more at the community level, this sort of level of high tackle. This is what we're going to have to get used to, players tackling lower and lower. Yeah, definitely, and I think it is something that a lot of coaches that I've spoken to have already said that they're trying to address it. I know particularly in the community ranks it could be something that really does affect them in the opening few weeks of the season. So Whitehaven have taken the tap. Jake Mason has taken them over the halfway line. Phillips in there at dummy half, gets it across to Ross Ainley, so going to keep his legs pumping before he's taken down sort of 33 metres out from the from the Halifax line. Phillips scoots out to dummy half before finding then a pop-up pass back to Ryan King. Sort of, was it 25 yards out, 25 metres out now, but it is just looks to be a short and 30 and 40 here at the share. It's going to go left to Carter, then into Corkill. The Nigerian international, of course, come through the academy system at St Helens before spending his season at a hometown club at Barrow Raiders last year. 90 seconds in here at the share. Whitehaven on the attack. King then gets it across to Guy Graham. Scottish international is going to be wrapped up. It is the 5 and last, sort of 12-13 metres out, just in the line of the sticks. It's going to go left to Carter. Carter's going to put the crossfield kick in for Oscar Dordan to try and get there. Can't get there, Oscar Dordan, but is it going to be wrapped up? Is it going to come off a Whitehaven man? Is it come off a Halifax man? It's going to be a top 20 for the Halifax Panthers, and they're going to try and come out now. Take the tap then, and it's Greg Eden to try and fetch his ball forward, but referee Cameron Worsley said, no, you've played that too quick. First time we've mentioned Mr. Worsley's name this afternoon. Hopefully we're not mentioning it all that often, but Saltonstall takes the tap and is going to look to fetch the ball forward now for the Panthers. O'Brien waiting in there at dummy half, 30 metres out, just going to go to the right hand side, and down that side will be Zach McComb on that side, and they're just short of halfway line now are the Panthers. Going to continue to fetch his ball forward, and no, it's McComb on that occasion that's now going to be wrapped up there just short of the Whitehaven 40. Phillips and Ainley in that tackle, now into the hands of Calcott. Calcott again gets it out the back, a couple of pairs of hands once again, and now into the hands of Ben Crooks, and Crooks is going to get through the gap, and that should be forward. Looks forward from Crooks to Joe Keys, but it's going to be a try straight away for the Halifax Panthers. They've gone the full sort of 80 metres following the tap, not the start that Whitehaven wanted. Ben Crooks is struggling down below us. He's been hit there following the tackle. I don't think there was anything in it, but he's just got to look a bit of a knock there, has Ben Crooks. That final pass to me looks suspiciously forward, but the referee and the judge is a lot closer than we are here at the share. But it is open and score here for the Panthers. It's Halifax Panthers 4, Whitehaven 0. Well, it was an impressive movement first of all down this left hand side, but I'm with you. I think that pass did look a little bit suspect from Crooks. I think he's took a knock in a rather delicate position, hence why he's receiving attention at the moment. But you've got to compliment the attack there initially as it came down the left hand side. They really did stretch out that Whitehaven defence, and then support on the inside superb from Joe Keys to scoot his way over midway between the posts and the corner flag. He's up and back on his feet now. There he's Ben Crooks, of course, spent time at Keighley last season, but obviously spent majority of his career in the Super League. But at Halifax this season is Ben Crooks, and we're just waiting now. Louis Jouffre is going to be lining up the conversion, of course. Couple of spells at Whitehaven. Louis Jouffre had that spell initially when he made his debut at the Summer Bash in front of the Sky cameras against Workington at Blackpool, and of course come back in that season of 2021, sort of into the final 40% of the season, maybe final 50% of the season, and was magical in the half-back role on that occasion. Don't see him kicking goals too often. We definitely didn't at Whitehaven, but he has converted this afternoon. There has Louis Jouffre, and that gives the Panthers a 6-0 lead. Just 4.5 minutes in there. Dave Parkinson, Johnny Gawley won't be happy with how easy Halifax were able to make 80 metres. No, and they really were
quite clinical in the way they came down the ground, to be honest. And then lovely link up, as I mentioned, down the left hand side, support on the inside. Yes, the last pass was a little suspect, but there was some warning signs there for John Tigali, and I'm sure he'll be getting the message out, to be fair, as the restart kick goes long. Halifax bring it back through Calcott. Yeah,
Calcott the man now to fetch it forward, and he's met there by McCarron, Doran and King, but Calcott keeps going, makes another, what is he, potentially 10 metres there in the initial post contact. O'Brien's going to come down this side, then finds Eden searching for the offload for Crooks, but keeps hold of the ball, does the former Castleford Tiger. Kavanagh now's the man to bring it back towards the middle. Good tackle in there from Whitehaven, 3 involved, Phillips, Graham, and is it Ross Ainley there as well. Ainley can't get up into the marker position. The offload then comes from O'Brien, who scooted from dummy half, finds Tangata, who somehow we didn't mention at all in the pre-match build-up. He is a force for this Halifax side. Jufre now is going to get it out wide right to Matty G. G's going to be looked to be wrapped up, but they're making plenty of metres once again. Halifax now less than 20 metres out. O'Brien is waiting in there at dummy half, still at least a couple of tackles, as it's now going to be Connor Davis to fetch this ball forward, in at loose forward this afternoon. He's now wrapped up. This should be 5 and last, but Halifax are going to be 10 metres out. Unless I've missed the 6 again or something, I feel like that should have been 5 and last, but it's going to go right now to Jufre, and Jufre is going to flank it over the gap. Is he going to be held up? He's going to be able to get that ball down, and he's going to be able to get the ball down. He's the French international. It's back-to-back tries for the Halifax Panthers. Obviously Louis Jufre just exploited a gap there on that right hand side. Halifax once again going 100 metres on that occasion. It's not the start that Whitehaven would have wanted here on BBC Radio Cumbria Sports Online. It is Halifax Panthers 10, Whitehaven 0.
The defence was backtracking all the time in that set, and Louis Jufre, we've already spoke about him, he's a real running threat. He can be so magical. He decided, I'm taking this ball in, and he forced his way through a couple of despairing tackles on the line to stretch the advantage out to 10 points to 0. He'll also look to try and add this conversion from over on the right hand side of the field.
Looking really good in attacker so far, Halifax. They've got the ball forward. Yeah, they've got plenty of metres. Obviously we didn't really mention them in the build up, we said, but Tangata, Calcott, O'Brien in there at 9, Kavanagh, Matty G and Connor Davies. That is a formidable forward 6, forward 7.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, Tangata's over 200 appearances, or nearly 200 appearances for Halifax now. He can't keep away from this club, even when his paths have taken him away. He tends to come back. But that was brilliant in the midfield in the build-up, to be fair. Adam O'Brien's little pop pass for Adam Tangata, and it just meant that Whitehaven were backpedaling, and they just didn't have the numbers. They couldn't get themselves organised, and Jeffrey, he just loves those sort of situations.
Able to slot the conversion over is the Frenchman, and it is now Halifax 12, Whitehaven 0, and all seem to stem from, because Whitehaven initially had slowed them down in this sort of area, Dave, just to, in between sort of the 20 and the 40, and it just seemed to be Ross Ainley getting caught on the ground, not able to get his position in at marker. O'Brien scooted and just seemed to get the momentum rolling in that set.
Yeah, to be fair, there was 2 players that were caught in the same tackle who were both very slow to get to the feet, and Adam O'Brien, he's been doing that for years, hasn't he, for Huddersfield, 120 appearances for them over the course of his career. He just sized up the situation, thought, I'm going here, and that's where the danger happened.
So Calcott's now going to fetch this ball forward for Panthers. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online, just over 8 minutes gone, and Whitehaven already find themselves 12-0 down. But Calcott stopped there, sort of 12 metres out. It's now Tangata going to look at fetching this ball forward, and he's made 10 metres there before being taken down. Corkill and Jake Carter, former Barrow partners of course, have walked in that tackle. It's Matty G to fetch it down now. He's taken down just short of the 40, and it's now going to be Zach McComb. McComb's going to try and get round 1, and does get round 1 initially in Corkill, but wrapped up then by 2 Whitehaven defenders, King and Carter, both on halfway now. Davies then going to get it across to Calcott. Coming through the middle now is the prop forward who's in that tackle. It's Jamie Doran, Ross Ainley, Callum Phillips. It is now 5 and last. Keys is going to put the kick in just over the top. It come off the hand of McCarron. Dean Gebby now is going to collect that ball for his first touch in a Whitehaven shirt, being pushed towards the touchline, but the Papua New Guinean is able to hit the floor. He's going to play the ball now. Romeo in there, finds then Curtis Tia. Tia is going to take this ball forward. Of course, the former England Lions international himself is Curtis Tia, but he's pushed back there by the Halifax defenders. Playing this ball still short of the 20. Oscar Doran now, still finding his way in the professional game, but was impressed with his performance at times on the wing. last week against the Barrow Raiders. Owen McCannon now is going to fetch this ball forward, looks to bump and twist his way out of the tackle before being taken down sort of 33 metres away from his own line. 9.5 on the clock. Phillips in a dummy half is going to go left to Ainley, who gets it across to Carter. Carter could potentially spots an opportunity there for a 40-20 depending on the bounce. I don't think the angle is going to be quite great to him there, and it is a soft pitch here at the Shea. I've seen Liam Finn's interview with Halifax and it looked to be underwater on Thursday. They actually, I'm told, they had to cancel training on Thursday evening because they couldn't find anywhere to train with the snow and the weather down here in West Yorkshire. But good attacking set there from Whitehaven. Eventually, Dave, obviously once they were pinned back initially and just trying to find some metres.
Yeah, I thought that was a really solid set, to be honest, from Whitehaven. Great kick downfield, and they followed it up with a really solid chase. It's a case of can they now do it at the back end of the set now, with Halifax starting to roll forward in the form of Tangata.
So Tangata fetching the ball forward. He's going to be taken down just on the halfway line. It took 4 Whitehaven defenders to fetch him down. Graham, Ainley, Phillips and Newton all involved. Connor Davies is then able to try and utilise some space. It is now the 5 and last. Adam O'Brien in there, a hooker. It's going to come left to Keys. Keys is going to put the kick up there for, is it Gebby or Tia that's going to get there, and Gebby does go up high and he's met by Ben Crooks straight away, and his foot had just probably the millisecond before it hit the floor, but before Crooks put in the tackle and just laid him to the floor.
Yeah, it was an impressive take that from Gebby. He had to readjust himself slightly as well, because he'd overcooked it, hadn't he, with his leap, but had to lean his body back, but he did really well there.
So Whitehaven now with Jobby Romeo playing the ball. Jamie Doran finds Owen McCannon. McCannon is going to be wrapped up there by 3 Halifax defenders. Whitehaven still short of their own 30 here, more or less in centre field, maybe slightly to the right. Definitely going to be in centre field now as it comes to Dean Gebby. Don't think Gebby was expecting that, but he is going to need through the line there, and that's what you're expecting from the Papua New Guinean. And he's found there Jay Carter on his own at the moment. He's Jay Carter, but Gebby found space there in absolutely nothing. It is the 5 and last, going to be 30 metres out from the Halifax line. Phillips is going to go into the hands of Jamie Doran. Doran's going to be looking for the kick over the top. Oscar Doran's going to try and get there, but actually no, it's just a little bit too deep, and the Whitehaven sort of Doran and Mason on that side couldn't get there. But that is what you'd expect Dean Gebby to do in a Whitehaven shirt.
That was box office then, wasn't it? He bounced through a tackle and then a one-handed offload back on the infield. If that's what we've got to look forward to over the course of the season, bring me more.
Oh, definitely. That's what Whitehaven fans will be expecting to see week in, week out. It's now going to come down this side. The Halifax Panthers. Ben Crooks is down on this side. It's only Gebby that's going to try and stop him. Is Gebby able to get him? He's not. He's trying to slow him down there to Dean Gebby. Crooks just able to come down this left hand side. Didn't really have anyone in support there, and it is going to be a third try for the Halifax Panthers. Curtis T was down on the floor, down on this tackle. There was sort of a complaint that he was taken down out the tackle, but neither the touch judge or referee was interested in that at all. And I'll be honest, if he was shouting for that, I think he was a little bit soft. I just do think it was affected in the tackle there was Curtis T, but it's going to be Ben Crooks down on this left hand side. It's the third try of the afternoon for Halifax, and this isn't the way that Johnny Gawley will have seen this afternoon going.
Oh, definitely not. I tell you what, they were so high speed then, weren't they? Halifax, they absolutely cut the Whitehaven defence to ribbons down this left hand side. It was initially Greg Eden who got away from the defence, popped the ball out unselfishly, and I tell you what, it was a case of turn on the afterburners for Ben Crooks. Gebby did so well to get to him, slowed him down, but couldn't slow him down enough, and just ended up sliding off the tackle. And it's a powerful finish from Crooks. He's been doing that all his career.
Had hold of the shorts there, did the Papua New Guinean of Ben Crooks, but wasn't just enough to slow him down or make sure he could try and bring the centre to the floor. And it is a third try of the afternoon for Halifax. As Louis Dufresne lines up the kick, we can see Workington scored a few points back at Mount Pleasant. It's now 44-12 there. Just seeing there's a couple of other scores. Midlands have taken the lead at Rochdale 6-0. Swinton 6, West Hull 0 as Dufresne missed the conversion. And Doncaster lead in the early stages at Widnes 4, Doncaster 6. But here at the Shea it remains Whitehaven 0, Halifax Panthers 16, and Whitehaven really need to try and get into this game quickly, slow this Halifax Panthers side down, Dave, or they're going to be in for the long afternoon here in West Yorkshire.
Yeah, I think at the moment they've shown how deadly they can be down this left hand side, aren't they? So this right hand side defence from Whitehaven really needs to shore itself up somehow. As you mentioned though, I think Tia got himself bounced off in the background, didn't he? And then ended up complaining, and you can't really do that. You've just got to get up and try and go after the man again. And they've got it all to do so far, it would be fair to say.
Yeah, so it's going to be Tangata to fetch the ball forward now. Him and Calcott have swapped positions from the starting kick-off. Maybe felt Calcott was taking a bit too much ball in from these kick-offs, and Tangata said, I want a piece of that action. O'Brien now then finds Connor Davies. 14 and a half minutes gone here on BBC Radio Cumbria Sports Online. Challenge Cup action. Whitehaven find themselves 16-0 down already. 3 tries. Keys, Jufrey and Ben Crooks, the scorers for the Halifax side. Jufrey converting the first 2 of them. He's going to play the ball now. It is Calcott. O'Brien in there at dummy half. He's going to go right then to Louis Jufrey. Jufrey is nearly through the gap. It's taken down there by Guy Graham and Rio Corkill. O'Brien then coming back into the centre now with Calcott, and then Keys with the pop-up pass then to Ben Kavanagh. Kavanagh is going to be taken down. It is going to be the 5 and last. The quick play of the ball. Keys is going to come to this left hand side, just looking for the kick over the top. Gebby is going to be there and takes it one-handed initially, does Dean Gebby. He's then going to be met there by Ben Crooks.
He's thrown into the ground again. You can't do that.
So Ben Crooks wasn't too much, it was just a slight nudge, and Dean Gebby made sure that his side did take notice, and the referee took notice and jumped back. But to be fair to Ben Crooks, he shouldn't be giving Cameron Worsley an opportunity to give that penalty.
No, it was a silly penalty to give away. Gebby milked it slightly, I will give him that, but having said that, you've got to do that, and he was in a good position to pick up the kick anyway.
So York just levelled the scores at it's not the Tetley Stadium these days, is it the Ram Stadium? It's 8-8 there. Featherstone now 52-0 up. And Rochdale will lead it back to 6-6. Meanwhile, Jamie Jordan just in at the play of the ball there from a Joey Romeo. Comes across to Ross Ainley. Ainley's going to be taken down. Phillips in there at dummy half. Still short of halfway here to Whitehaven. Comes across to Ryan King. Deputising it loose forward once again. I feel like that might be where we see Ryan King all season. Definitely seen him in the early games. So he gets a quick play of the ball and finds Guy Graham there, just Callum Phillips. He's going to be taken down. He's a Scottish international. Tangata, and that's good. Going to be a professional foul. Just pushes sort of Callum Phillips out the way, and that's a 3rd penalty for Whitehaven against Halifax's none so far. And Liam Finn will be a little bit frustrated with that.
It's a crazy penalty for Halifax to give away, to be fair, because they're in control of this game as it stands at this moment in time, and yet they've just gone and given a silly penalty away for pushing I think it was Phillips in the back and pushing him off to play the ball. You can't be doing that. That is just brainless.
Criminal. Yeah. Then it's might described as a coach killer, definitely. But Whitehaven now is going to have a first real opportunity to try and put some shape and some pressure on this Halifax side. Mason taps the ball 10 metres out, comes through a couple of pairs of hands before then finding Ross Ainley, but he's met there by 2 and 3 Halifax defenders to bring him down. Just to the left hand side of the post, around about 8 metres out. Phillips then comes across to Carter. Carter then going to be wrapped up by Tangata and Adam O'Brien that's in there, but he's less than 5 metres away now, just in line with the right hand side post. Are going to come this right hand side. Jamie Jordan then comes across to Owen McCarran. The opportunity was there to bring it over the top potentially to Gebby or to Joey Romeo, but the ball went inside to McCarran instead. Phillips is then going to go left now into the hands of Doran, who comes across to Carter, now finds Corkill. Corkill's going to try and step back inside, tries to get around Louis Jufrey, but he's going to be wrapped up there is Rio Corkill. 17 and a half minutes gone here at the Shares. The rain just starts to fall ever so slightly. Carter now finds Doran out the back to Gebby. Gebby's then going to try to step inside. Dean Gebby gets the inside ball to Guy Graham. He really eats box office in the tack so far from what we've seen. Dean Gebby. It is the 5 and last, however. Phillips is then going to go to Jamie Doran. Doran going to put it with a little kick in. It's going to be knocked on by the Halifax man. It's initially going to be knocked back, and he has given back there to Cameron Worsley. I'll tell you what, I've seen them given before for the knock on, but referee Cameron Worsley on that occasion happy to just give there that the ball had gone backwards off the Halifax man.
Yes, so have I seen those given before in the past, to be fair, Jordan, but again, box office from Gebby. Absolutely wonderful offload back on the infield. As soon as they realise that they've got to play off him, this Whitehaven side has points in them.
Ben Crooks is coming down this side now. Was it Eden that was able to spin out of the tackle? But he's taken down there. He's Ben Crooks, Romeo McCannon and Tia all involved in that tackle. Early change now for Halifax. Ryan Lannon has come on the field to replace Will Calcott. 18 and a half minutes gone here at the Shea. O'Brien gets his ball on halfway, and I'll tell you what, we're not going to be missing Ryan Lannon for this afternoon, are we? It's Eminem circa 2003, that hairstyle, isn't it?
To be fair, as he came in through the stadium doors, somebody said, all right, Slim Shady.
Well, yeah, you can see why. The kick is put up high for Gebby, and Gebby rises highest there to take it, but as he was before, Crooks is just waiting to hit him there as soon as the foot hit the floor. He's going to take this, and it's now Tia, and it's then going to be an incorrect play. The ball just from Dean Gebby, and like you say, maybe just a bit guilty there of not the new interpretation, not the new rule, just the clamping down on the rule that the foot has to hit the ball when you're going to play it.
Yeah, it's something that's crept in over a number of years, isn't it, to our sport, and I'm pleased, to be fair, that the referees have been told to tighten this area up, and sides are going to have to get more clinical and just concentrate, take that extra half second to play the ball.
So Halifax now going to be in a prime position here, not that they really needed it, but they find themselves 16-0 up, but Davis is going to play this ball. O'Brien's going to come left, out the back to Keys. Keys is going to run the line there. Jamie Dornan seeing Louis Dufresne there, waiting to expect the ball. He just left the gap for Keys to run through, and it's going to be a fourth try of the afternoon here for Halifax Panthers. We said last time Whitehaven here, they conceded 60, and I'll tell you what, Dave, at the moment, if the Panthers carry on like this, and Whitehaven continue as they are, we might not be too far off.
Wow, I might have underestimated Halifax here, to be honest. That was again some excellent attacking work there from Joe Keys. I've been impressed with the way that he's developed at this club. He always seemed to be one of those halfbacks that he had a lot of potential, but he sometimes lacked the conviction with his actions. There was no lack of conviction there. As soon as he spotted that Duran had just, and it was, we're not talking he was mega out of position either. Duran had just sort of moved in ever so slightly. The gap was there.
We're talking half a metre, if that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just spotted the gap there, did Joe Keys, and doing what a good halfback should do. Just spotted the gap there, running with ball in hand, and able to go over for that. So it does mean Halifax Panthers find themselves 20-0 to the good. Now as we just tick over into the 23rd minute here at the Shay. A few other scores coming in. Workington giving it a good go in the second half. They were 40-0 down at the break, and it's Batley 44, Workington 18.
They must be going down the hill there now.
Got to be, surely got to be.
Maybe all them points have been scored down the hill.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Featherstone are 56-0 up. Bradford have just scored to make it 6 points to 2 down the road at Odsall. Swinton are now 12-0 up against West Hull. Hunslet are 6-0 up against Keighley. Rochdale 6-all against Midlands at Spotland, and Widden still 4 points to 6 down at home to Doncaster, as Midlands have kicked the penalty to make it 6 points to 8, as Louis Dufresne has kicked his third conversion attempt of the afternoon, and he's Halifax 22, Whitehaven 0. Like I say, Whitehaven really need to try and get a standing in this game, Dave, if they stand any chance of staying in it and it not becoming a big blowout scoreline.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they looked like they were starting to get themselves back into it with the last couple of sets of possession, but Halifax have looked so clinical. They've looked so good every time they've crossed this halfway line. They've looked like there's going to be points in them, and they've got to find some way of slowing it down of Whitehaven. I don't know what the answer is.
Well, let's hope maybe John Sigoli or the players out there, they'll know what the answer is, but they need to find that answer pretty quickly. As Tangata, well, that's one way of doing it, picking up and dumping Adam Tangata. I mean, it took 3 of them to do it, but Guy Gray and Callum Phillips and Ross Ainley all involved. He's going to come forward now with Ryan Lannon, and he's going to be taken down there just over 2 or 3 metres away. The rain is starting to fall quite heavy now here at the Shay. Probably not Whitehaven, what Whitehaven wanted, knowing that they're going to have to try and play some free-flowing rugby themselves if they try and get anything out of this game. But Halifax play the ball through Matty G, just 10 short now of halfway. It's going to come across the line there before Matty G. Yeah, Matty G now fetches the ball forward. He's going to be taken down there just short of halfway. Jamie Dowen, Owen McCannon and Guy Graham all involved. That looks forward to me from Keys to Crooks. We've already had one of them conversations already, but they're nothing given by the match officials. Evan Lawfer getting ready to come on for Whitehaven. Be interesting to see what sort of condition he is in, because he hasn't trained this week. I know he definitely hadn't trained Tuesday, Thursday, whether he was there yesterday. But that is a high kick there, and Gebby just sits there and takes it. Not as much pressure on the Papua New Guinea on that occasion, but he's ruled to have lost the ball there when he's hit the floor, and it means it's going to be a Halifax ball here, and Connor Davis and co celebrate like they've just scored another 4-pointer.
I've got to compliment Shafree though, because the way that he chased through and he tackled right around the arms, so I think that just about forced the error, in fairness, and it's another really, really decent attacking position, this, unfortunately for Halifax. 10 metres out. 10
metres out certainly is. Whitehaven are going to have some work to do to keep this side out, and they've already showed both left and right hand side that they can utilise a gap and throw the passes. Dion Ayres getting ready to come on as well, but is it going to be too little too late for Whitehaven? They'll be hoping to try and force the error here and keep this Halifax side out, but the ball's going to go right. Dufresne looks to step inside, nearly through there was the Frenchman. It's going to be actually ruled high tackle on Louis Dufresne, so it's going to be a fresh set of 6 again, only the extra tackle really, but it's the first penalty of the afternoon that Whitehaven have conceded. Sort of 24 minutes in here at the Shay, BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online, and it is Halifax 22, Whitehaven 0. So they're going to take the tap, O'Brien, and then get to the cross. Then he's at to Matty G. It is Matty G that's going to be wrapped up there, just 8 metres out, just in line with the left-hand side post. O'Brien waiting in there. It's situ at dummy half. Then come across now to Keys. Keys then going to come across out the back to Woodburn Hall. Romeo spotted Woodburn Hall there and did you to leave a gap, but Tia and Doran able to close that up before Ben Crooks was over to get his way over. Ball's come right now into the hands of Lannon back in centre field. Sort of 7 metres out now as he eventually hit the floor. King, Phillips and Ainley all involved in that tackle. O'Brien's going to scoot, then go right. Davies is going to take the line on there. And it's good work there from the Whitehaven defender. I can't quite tell who it is from here. Is it Guy Graham? Yes, it is. And it's going to go right. O'Brien's then going to decide to go right. He's going to try and scoot from dummy half. He's going to be held up over the line. And he is. Whitehaven living dangerously once again as O'Brien tried to look to throw the ball right. Didn't see there was no options on and thought, well, I'm going to try and have a dive over myself.
Yeah, it was worthwhile him having a go, wasn't it, from that sort of distance. Eventually, really good rear guard action, to be fair, from Whitehaven to hold him out, but they need more of it.
Reinforcements are going to be through James Newton there as well, so Whitehaven bringing 3 on, and that is probably the first mistake of the made that Joe Keys have made. He just held on the ball a little bit longer. Ross Ainley able to evoke the tackle, and Whitehaven have this turnover ball here, so it's going to be James Newton, Dion Eyre and Evan Lover to come onto the field. They're replacing Guy Graham, Ross Ainley and Callum Phillips.
Be interested to see how all three of those can get themselves into this game, and Whitehaven bringing it out from their own 30-metre line now.
I think we're potentially going to see King going back into second row. McAdam might do a stint at prop and Dion Eyre going in at loose forward. We'll see if that works the way it does, but it's now going to be Dion Eyre to fetch his ball forward as James Newton finds himself in there at dummy half. That's a combination there of Newton and Callum Phillips. It's now going to come right then into the hands of Owen McAdam, so it looks like McAdam might do that stint at prop. Just ticking over into the 26th minute here at the Shay. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sports Online. Whitehaven find themselves 40 metres out. Just a pop-up pass across back to Papua New Guinea and Dion Eyre. It is going to be 5 and last. Whitehaven find themselves 30 metres out, centre field. It's going to come right then to Jamie Doran. Doran's going to look to kick along the field and just feels like I'll get an opportunity if I was side to recuperate and regroup, and just bangs that ball into touch. It's going to be scrum down, head and feed to Halifax. I know it's a turnover ball these days on the last tackle, isn't it? So it's going to be a turnover ball here. Sort of 13:40 left on the clock in the first half.
Tell you what, you had to be brave if you was going to go anywhere near that particular kick. It was very hit very firmly into the touchline, but there's a real chance here for Whitehaven to try and attack with their defence. We can't say that we've been able to say that often so far. Certainly not, as Halifax are going to look to fetch this ball forward. O'Brien goes right as Tangata leaves the field for Halifax. I imagine it's going to be replaced, probably I think it was Jacob Fairbank. It's going to be Fairbank or Inman out there. Panthers play this ball now. It's going to then be Matty G to fetch his ball forward. He's going through plenty of work on that right hand side edge for the Panthers in the early going. He's going to be taken down just over his own 40. 13 minutes left on the clock in this first half. O'Brien now gets the ball out wide right, gets the offload back from McComb on that side. Keys now then going to come across, and that is going to be a knock on there. I think Kavanagh really wasn't expecting that ball from Joe Keys. It was a wider than expected pass probably from Keys, but still should have probably taken that there. But it's going to be an opportunity here for Whitehaven. They're going to have scrum down, head and feed just in the Halifax half. Just a quick observation after sort of 27.5 minutes, but how strong is that McComb out on that right hand side? I know you've given a big mention to Matty G so far, but McComb's taking his fair share of possessions as well, and he's really troubling his opposite number Mason. Yeah, of course, teammates last year were Mason and McComb, but obviously on against opposite sides this afternoon. Ball comes from the base of the scrum. Newton finds Carter, who into the hands of Jake Mason. Now, haven't seen an opportunity what Jake Mason can do. He's getting pushed, however, towards the touchline there, but he is able to find the floor. Is the Italian international. Newton in at dummy half now comes across to Carter. Carter then finds Rio Kokil, the Nigerian international. It'll be interesting. I'm going to have to count up how many internationals he had in Whitehaven's side. I imagine it's more than they pretty much have ever had before. But Carter now comes across then to Doran, comes across to Evan Lover. Good work there from Jamie Doran, gets the offload there into Eddie Ngebi, who was on his knees as he slid, just trying to get that ball there. Good collection there from the Papua New Guinean. Newton's then going to go into hands of Jamie Doran, then King throws a dummy. He's nearly through there. I'm going to say it again, Italian international.
Newton then comes across now into the hands of Jamie Doran. Throws the dummy there, just Jamie Doran. Then a wonderful offload, but it's going to find the floor into the hands of Ryan Lannon. I understand why he tried to do it, and then is it going to be a penalty? What for? I'm not too sure what the signal there that Cameron Worsley is giving, but it is going to be a tackling the man without the ball. And it's going to be a penalty for Halifax, and they're going to be having an opportunity to clear their lines.
I don't know if that was a tackle against the player without the ball, because Ryan Lannon had it in his arms. I don't know what Durrani's meant to do there. Is he just meant to let him run past him?
Yeah, run through, so yeah, go on, run through. You're going to score another 4 points. But as Adam O'Brien leaves the field, he's been a real live wire out there. He's been a live wire as well, and throws the pass back inside to Tom Inman, who had just come onto the field. And Whitehaven are going to have this opportunity now. Gebby is off, but he's going to be taken down. Three or four Halifax defenders. He does. Curtis T now with ball in hand. He able to throw the dummy. Then Curtis T is going to be down this right hand side. He's going to go himself. He's going to back himself there. This Curtis T. Whitehaven need 20 points to get back into this game, and that is the first 4 of them. Good work there from Whitehaven, able to turn defence into attack pretty quickly, realising that Halifax was short on numbers. Good little dummy there from Curtis Tier as Romeo was on his outside, but elects to go himself there, does Curtis Tier, and on this right hand side he gets the touchdown. 10.5 minutes to go in the first half here at the Shay. It is Halifax 22, Whitehaven 4.
What a brilliant response that was from Whitehaven. You know, I mean, it all came again from Gebby, looking like he was going to get through the gap. Quick play of the ball, lightning quick. And this time, I've mentioned how on occasion Whitehaven have struggled to retreat the 10 metres. There was no one at home for Halifax, and Curtis Tier doesn't mess up opportunities like that. He is another of those speedsters, to be honest. Is Curtis Tier, a player that has done tremendously well since coming through the gate at the at Whitehaven. And Carter has this conversion attempt from over on the right hand side of the field, about 8 metres in from touch.
8 metres in from touch, 22 metres out. Haven't seen him an awful lot kicking goals in previous seasons at Whitehaven, but kicked last week and kicked in the friendly. It's going to be just wide to the right hand side post, the near post from Jake Carter. It's going to remain here. Halifax 22, Whitehaven 4, but that shows Dave Parkinson, if they can stay in the contest with Halifax, Whitehaven have got opportunities there to try and get some more points on the board.
In a way, they've almost got to get Gebby involved every single opportunity they can, because he looks like a right dynamite sort of player, and things will happen around him. He's just got that sort of air about him, hasn't he? And I think that was a fantastic response to that. We just need more of it from Whitehaven now.
So Whitehaven collect the kick-off and get the ball into the hands of Dion Eyre. Real Papua New Guinean flavour, of course, of Whitehaven over the last few seasons. Obviously, Jesse Joe Parker had more than a decade, of course, at Whitehaven. Dion Eyre won't be coming far off a decade now, and obviously you've fetched in Dean Gebby as well. There's been a couple of others over the years. As Rio Corkill's now going to play this ball into the hands now of Ryan King. King's going to continue to keep them legs pumping, but he's going to be taken down 15 metres short of halfway. Newton waiting in there at dummy half, going to come right into the hands of McCarran, who does seem to move into the middle for Whitehaven. Gets the offload away into the waiting hands of Newton. Newton not able to make too far, however. Tommy Min spotted that pretty much straight away. It's going to be King in there at dummy half. It's going to come across to Jamie Doran. Doran then into the hands of Gebby. Gebby's then going to look to step inside, tries to get away from Ryan Lannon. You can see there's maybe just a sharp intake of breath there from Halifax fans. Yeah, we've seen what he can do already. Carter was in at dummy half. He's going to put the kick right down the middle. Not the best kick you'll ever see in the world from Jay Carter, right into the midriff there of James Woodburn Hall, and Saltonstall's nearly through the gap there, but he's going to be taken down. One-on-one strip, however. Whitehaven have the ball back through the hands of Jay Carter, so maybe a slight error there from Jay Carter earlier, but makes up for it immediately with the one-on-one strip.
Yeah, it's a great bit of play from Carter, to be honest, and now Whitehaven flooding forward inside the 30 metre line. They go, eye has it, drops it back for King.
King on the forward now as the rain is getting heavier and heavier here at the Shay. It was bright sunshine just to kick off. I think we thought we were going to struggle to see some plays out there in the first half, but the rain now teeming down. Dion Eyre gets it across to Jamie Doran, then in the hands of Dean Gebby. Gebby's going to put the little kick forward. It's got the Halifax winger chasing back there, Greg Eden, but Eden able to collect that ball. Can't get away from Evan Lover. Good off the cuff play there from Dean Gebby. Whether it was needed, still had plenty of tackles Whitehaven, but seeing there was an opportunity, and Halifax are now going to continue to fetch this ball forward.
I don't know whether I can blame him really. He spotted there was perhaps a bit of a chance of sliding the kick in and putting Halifax under pressure. I think you've got to go with the player on that instant, haven't you?
I think, to be fair, if it's against pretty much any other winger in the league apart from Greg Eden, it might have caused him a little bit more difficulty.
He did look quite comfortable, did he, having said that, though?
So Panthers now continue to fetch this ball forward. And that's going to be taken down just short of halfway here, pretty much in centre field as Inman is waiting in there at dummy half. It's going to come left to Keys. Keys just going to be over the 40 metres, so this can't be a 40-20 attempt, but the angle isn't right, and the soft surface here at the shade just means the ball holds up. It's going to be a Gebby to fetch this ball forward, pushes off Ben Crooks. You don't say that all too often, but he's then soon met by Ben Kavanagh, and is it Connor Davis involved there as well. Joey Romeo finds an Oscar Doran. Doran coming off the opposite wing to try and help his forwards out here and try and make some extra metres. It's going to be Doran waiting there at dummy half as Doran plays his sort of 27-28 metres out, and it's going to be a penalty for Whitehaven, having the handball in on the hands in there in the ruck and the ball in, and that's something else they've been clamping on down this so far this season, Dave.
Yeah, there's a couple of areas really. So it's hands in the ruck, it's the way that you've got to play the ball, and also very much around where your markers are standing. So particularly at Super League level, there's been an awful lot. You'll have seen it yourself on telly when you'll have watched any game, where most sides will play it and then suddenly you've got two defenders directly in front of you. So yeah, they're clamping down on all of that.
And that was one of the infringements there that Halifax have come a cropper against. T is now going to play this ball. They are in the Halifax half. Ball's in the hands of Dion Eyre. 5.5 minutes to the half-time break. Whitehaven would love another 4-pointer, potentially 2, but they'll definitely take 1 before the half-time break if they can. Newton is in there at dummy half. He's going to go left to King. King then across to Carter. Out the back to Adine Gebby. Gebby then going to try and use his speed and throws a dummy there, but he's going to be taken down. But Whitehaven are less than 10 metres out now. 4-5 metres in from that far left-hand side touchline. Carter then passes the ball back around to Owen McCarran. McCarran then is going to be wrapped up there, but he's only 2 or 3 metres short. It takes 4 defenders to bring him down and put him onto his back. Newton is in waiting in there at dummy half, can only come right, and he's going to with Carter. Carter's going to put the little kick forward, then going to be dropped on by the Halifax man. He's just deflected there. Who was it? I think it could have been Tom Inman.
Yeah.
It was Tom Inman that was there. He done well there, and then Whitehaven pinned for not being squared up markers, something you have just mentioned, Dave.
Yes, it was exactly one of those examples, to be honest, where both markers were standing next to each other. Got to praise the lightning reactions there, to be honest, of Tom Inman. He had to get down there really quickly. It was a tricky looking kick initially, but I suppose didn't have the punt to get the way through the defence. So
Crooks takes a tap from the penalty, sort of 10 short of halfway, up against his opposite number, Joey Romeo, who brings him down alongside Jamie Doran. Markers weren't exactly square there, but Halifax on the attack instead, so referee decides to let it go on this occasion. It was Eden scooting from dummy half into the Whitehaven half now. Inman then going to go across to Ryan Lannon. Lannon then is going to keep his legs pumping. He's the big prop forward.
He's all action, isn't he? He's always been one of those players I've quite like watching, Ryan Lannon, to be fair.
You're not going to miss him with the hair or the boots, but that ball is now going to hit the floor there.
Oh, penalty.
And it's going to be a penalty. Markers not square once again. That's a penalty that probably doesn't get given if that ball doesn't hit the floor.
No, because to be fair, the ball was bypassing where the area was, wasn't it, as well? And there was players in motion, but it gives Halifax another opportunity with 3.5 minutes left on the first half clock.
Yeah, they're going to back themselves here. Film potentially with being a cup tie. They might have knocked the 2 points over, but find themselves very comfortable. 18 points to the good and take the tap and now find Connor Davies.
That was a scrappy first play, wasn't it?
Certainly was, yeah. They didn't know what they were doing there, but Davies is going to find the floor, 12 metres out. Make sure to place the ball correctly. Nearly dropped it there. Keys then good across to Ben Kavanagh. Kavanagh's going to try and twist out of that tackle against James Newton. Lowther's in there helping him. He's going to be just short of the line now. Whitehaven need to keep on their guard here. Can't really concede another 4 points before half time. Jufre then going to come into the hands of Matty G. Nearly was Jake Mason was just waiting to pounce on that, but G was just able to get in front of him. Still 5 metres out now at Halifax, just to the right hand side of the post. Inman then finds Louis Jufre. Jufre shouldn't be getting the ball down from there. He's going to be reeled up, held over, but he was close, was the French international. 2 minutes 40 left in the first half here at the Shea.
That was great communication and defence then from Whitehaven. They always looked like they were likely to head down that way, did Halifax, but everyone communicated perfectly.
So Keys is going to put the little kick forward. Is it going to be too deep? Is it going to be too deep? It is, and Whitehaven are going to have a 7 tackle set here, and Curtis Tier realises he's got an opportunity here for a quick tap if he can take it correctly, and he does. And it means that Halifax weren't exactly back where they should be, and T maybe made an extra metre or 2 because of that. Dion Eyre finds himself in at dummy half, and now Joey Romeo coming down onto this right hand side. No one on support on the right hand side, however, because it should be where Curtis Tier should have been. Going to come down this right hand side now. Lover and Jamie Doran have filled that gap, and Evan Lover's going to play this ball exactly on halfway as the former Newcastle Thunder man. Newton, he's going to go inside then to Carter. Carter just looks to take the option on himself. There wasn't really anyone in attacking play to help him, and it's going to be a penalty here. However, is it going to be ruled for a swinging arm? And I think it's a swinging arm there on the Jacob Fairbank, and it is going to be an opportunity here for Whitehaven to kick the ball downfield. It's their 5th penalty of the first half. 90 seconds left on the clock. Clock is stopped with 1:29 left. We'll just run through scores elsewhere. The 2 o'clock kickoffs. It's finished Batley 48, Workington 18, Dewsbury 8, York 14. Flatall hasn't finished yet, but it's Flatall Heath 0, Featherstone 72. And into the 3 o'clock kickoffs, it's Bradford 18, North Wales 2, Hunslet 10. So their try was chalked off earlier on because it did say 16 points to 0, but Hunslet 10, Keighley 8. That's a half-time score, so not many stoppages there. Rochdale 12, Midlands 20, Swinton 18, Westhull 6. The Widnes have turned it around. They lead 20 points to 6. Jamie Doran takes the tap now from the penalty. Whitehaven starting 25 metres out. It's Dion Air that's going to be taken down. 70 seconds left of the first half here at the Shake, and Whitehaven get a second 4-pointer, gets a 6 again to Whitehaven. Ball in the hands now of Evan Lover.
Good run.
He's going to continue to keep his legs pumping. And he's taken down now. But Newton then comes across to King. King's going to try and get round his former teammates, but he's taken down, but he's only 5 metres out. Just to the right hand side of the post here at the Shea. It's a slow play the ball. King just looks to be a bit groggy. Doran now with ball in hand, doesn't have any options on his left hand side, looks to go himself. There is Jamie Doran back on the inside. Sort of 7 or 8 metres now of Whitehaven. Newton's going to come himself. There is James Newton, then looks to throw the offload. Wasn't really anyone in support. Lowther's gone in, and dummy half's going to try and scoot himself. There is Evan Lowther. Has he got that ball down? It's going to be ruled no try. It's going to be ruled a knock on, and it's a knock on over the line because it's going to be a tap 20. Whitehaven also close there, but good Halifax defence forcing the error.
Yeah, it was good defence, but I just got the feeling Whitehaven lost the way a little bit there. I mean, Durant looks over to his left, there's nobody running for him, and has to take the inside option. It just put them under pressure and made it look so scrappy and made it a bit easier to defend against.
You probably heard the shout of the timekeeper. He is everybody there, and it is right next to us here at the Shane, and you do get a good 2 or 3 second warning that you know it's either going to be half time or full time because of that. Well, half time here at the Shane. The rain has stopped here at the Shane, so maybe Whitehaven will be hoping they can play maybe a bit more expansive rugby and try and find themselves back into this game. It was Curtis Tier who scored Whitehaven's only try. Halifax try scored and bookended by Joe Keys with also tries in the middle from Dufresne and Ben Crooks. It's his game. He's now back underway. Jake Carter with the kick-off. Whitehaven going to be attacking from right to left from our main stand here in the main stand at the Shea. There's Ryan Lannon, who we mentioned in the first half. We're certainly not going to be missing him, circa M&M, like you say, 2003, with the striking blonde hair, as Ben Crooks is now the man that's going to be taken down. Is that Gareth Whittaby has entered the field to make his home debut here for the Halifax Panthers. Something that probably wasn't expected. It was rumoured quite a lot towards the back end of last year that he signed a deal at Halifax, he's coming to Halifax. He announced his retirement. 8 weeks later he'd signed for Halifax.
I know, it was a bit of a strange one, wasn't it, from a media perspective, but I'm glad that he's chosen to continue, and he's still got plenty to give, I think, at this sort of level, and I'm intrigued to see how he goes up against these players.
So it looks like he's potentially Louis Dufresne. No, Dufresne's out there, so we'll have to keep an eye. It's surely going to be. Sure, this was the same last week when he came. I think he made the final 20 minutes last week. Did Gareth Whittaby of who plays where? But it is the 5 and last, and Keys is going to look for the kick over the top, and it's going to be Gebbia that's going to have to bring this ball forward. It's just gone dead there. Sort of realised that it was going dead. Only just there did the Papua New Guinean, but he's now going to be able to take the quick tap, and Whitehaven are going to find themselves with a 7 tackle set here as Gebbia takes the tap and looks to bring it forward. And if Whitehaven had to try and get anything from this game, Dave, they need to be utilising Gebbia just a little bit more with ball in hand, because what we've seen from him in the short time so far, he has been dynamite.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. They need to find some way of getting him involved 2 or 3 times every set if possible, but obviously you can't go asking your fullback to take that sort of punishment, so a couple of other players will have to step up to the mark, but they do need to give him some more ball. I totally agree. So
Ryan King now going to fetch his ball forward. He's going to be taken down just over the 40 metre line, probably sort of 35 metres out from the Halifax line. Lachlan Hannigan is now on for Whitehaven there as well, so that's a half-time interchange with Hannigan coming onto the field. Has Jake Carter returned for the second half? Doesn't look like it. Oh no, Carter is out there. So We'll have to keep an eye on that. So Hannigan looks to put the kick forward, but put plenty of pressure on there. Did the Halifax Panthers, and it looks to be Jamie Doran that hasn't returned for the second half. So it looks to be a slight change in half-back partnership for Whitehaven as Hannigan comes on from the bench. But the Panthers are now going to fetch his ball forward through Tommy Man.
They were showing a little bit of concern for Doran right at the end of the first half. He did go off a little bit gingerly, I have to say, you know, when he was the last player off the field from a Whitehaven point of view. I've just worked out where Widdop's playing, so he's gone half-back, Geoffrey has gone to full-back.
Right, okay, so is it Woodburn Hall that's left?
Woodburn Hall seems to have left the field.
Well, okay. Oh,
interesting one.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. I'll also say I know Jamie Doran hasn't been too well this week, and I do believe he didn't. I know he didn't travel with the team today because he wasn't feeling 100%, and he maybe has got anything. Didn't want to pass it on to his teammates. Whether so that might be why. I do know he's travelled down separately from the team today, purely because, like I said, I don't think he's been feeling all the best. So I wanted to make sure that, if he can get home, he can get home and also get here and make sure everything is going to be okay. But Halifax have lost the ball on that far left hand side, and it's going to be a scrum down head and feed here to Whitehaven, sort of 33 metres out from their own line, and they're going to be attacking this Halifax line.
I'm going to say something that I didn't say too often in the first half, but that was good defence on the right hand side from Whitehaven.
That's what we want to hear.
That's what
good defence from Whitehaven.
Good defence from Whitehaven. It forced the error.
Yeah. So it's going to be Hannigan to feed the scrum. King at the base of it. Comes out to Jake Mason. Didn't see an awful lot with Jake Mason with ball in hand in that first half. He'll have to try and be utilised a little bit more if Whitehaven are to try and get back in this game. Rio Corkill's now going to be fetching this ball forward, and he's going to be taken down just short of halfway. Newton in there at dummy half. Then going to go right into the hands of King. King asking for something there, of saying Ryan Lannon potentially might have been offside, and he's able to do that while still keeping up in the air, despite the attention of 4 Halifax defenders. It's going to come right now into the hands of Gebby. Gebby then is going to try and break out of that, but it's going to be 2 Halifax defenders, Gareth Widdop and it's Matty G involved there as well. No, sorry, Zach McComb. And then Carter now finds Dion Air, going to try and power his way through. It's the Papua New Guinean captain for Whitehaven. With his 5 and last, Whitehaven 25 metres out. Newton is going to come down the short side towards Carter. Carter's going to put the kick in, and yet again just happy to put it over the sideline. Just make sure that they've got a defensive line set and making Halifax having to come sort of from their own 10 metres.
Yeah, I don't like seeing that, to be honest. Very constructive set. They've gone 30-40 metres ball in hand. They've troubled them on occasion. They've got 1 or 2 little bits of ball movement, heading. It's a case of working their way into this half, isn't it? And I mean, if you're looking at this time in the first half, they were 12-0 down, so already they're working their way into it. They're working hard, they're getting the basics done, and hopefully putting Halifax under a bit of pressure here. 5
gone in the second half here at the Shay. Halifax 22, Whitehaven 4. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online, as Ben Crooks is going to get up and play this ball, tackled by the Australian pairing of McCarron and Hannigan. Good defence from Whitehaven so far once again in this set, just making sure Halifax know they are going to be in a game and just trying to restrict the metres at Halifax again. And it's Ryan Lannon. This is going to be 3rd tackle, and they still haven't made their own 30 yet of Halifax. They're only a metre too short now with Lannon, as Inman is waiting in there at dummy half. It's going to go left into the hands of Connor Davies, then out to Keys, then out to Kavanagh. Kavanagh is going to be taken down just short of the 40. Fast play the ball. Widdop then gets it across to Ben Crooks. Crooks then is going to try and step back inside. Can't get away from Owen McCarron, and it is going to be the 5 and last just over the halfway line here for Halifax. Going to come inside to Keys. Keys is going to put the high kick up. Gebby should have plenty of time to get there, and he does. No real pressure as we've seen on the first half on the Papua New Guinea. He's nearly through there. Is the fullback. He's taken down just 25 metres away, but that isn't the best look, and he's just sort of down there. Is Dean Gebby. He's stayed down, and that's not what Whitehaven fans will want to hear, and it's not what John Sigoli will want to see as the physio's gone out and he's going to receive some treatment as the Papua New Guinean.
Yeah, it was a heavy challenge, wasn't it, to be fair. Good chase, I've got to say, on the back of that kick as well from Halifax, and Gebby once again looked like he was going to break through initially, and I think he's been a bit too brave for his own good there, hasn't he, in trying to do something spectacular.
The Papua New Guineans think they made a granite.
Oh, definitely.
They really do.
They generally are, to be honest.
To be fair, they genuinely are, but they are one of them. They'll probably put their head where it shouldn't go, or maybe put their arm where it shouldn't be, and sometimes to their detriment. And I think, are we saying here that Gebby might have to leave the field? Is that the signal from the Whitehaven physio? They'll be hoping not. I think Whitehaven physio is just looking back towards the dugouts. As he's up on his feet there, is Dean Gebby, and he's, like I say, he'll want to stay out there. preferably only for game time. Not the signal is coming out there that he should be okay. Or is he having? No, he's having to leave the field. I think we're just surmising a little bit too much. No, he's going to be okay out there.
He's going to carry on for now, isn't he?
But just in the initial signal just seemed to be like the rolling of the fingers which say he needs to leave the field. But no, he's okay there. I noticed Dion Air just going over, just making sure. Are you okay, mate? And he is. He's played this ball now, and Whitehaven going to fetch this ball forward through Joey Romeo.
Wouldn't surprise me to see him popping up later in the move, though, to be honest.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, as Curtis T is now going to fetch his ball forward for Whitehaven. He's going to be taken down 7 short of halfway. Newton waiting in there at dummy half. It's going to go right on the short side to Evan Loven, and Loven just pushes off his opposite number there.
He looks a hard-working player as well, doesn't he, Lowther?
Yeah, it really impressed me with the work he put through last week against Barrow. It is a Dean Gebby now, so you mentioned there, and he's nearly through the line. You were right, Dave. He was right back involved once again. It is the 5 and last, going to go right into the hands of Hannigan. Hannigan's going to put the kick up high. It's going to be all about the chase here for Whitehaven. They can put plenty of pressure on Louis Dufresne. The chase is good, and it means Dufresne is going to be wrapped up just over the 10-metre line.
Yeah, some good work there from Whitehaven. I think John Tigali will be really happy with this first 7 or 8 minutes. Have they not on there? No, referee is telling them to play it again.
Yeah, I think maybe it was an offload or an incorrect play. Well, no, it can't be an incorrect play of the ball. That should have been a penalty, but maybe just said he needs to play the ball once again. There does Louis Dufresne. Good defence from Whitehaven once again. Whatever John Tigoli has said in that half-time break has really pumped up this Whitehaven defence for the second half and putting plenty of pressure on this Halifax side as Dion Air, McCannon and Rio Corkill all combined to fetch Ryan Lannon down. He's going to play this ball 22 metres away from his own line. Newton the first out of the defensive line. McCannon involved once again, and it's going to be 30 metres out now as Saltonstall plays that ball. But just getting on a bit of a roll there at Halifax, and it is now going to be the 5 and last. Connor Davis is going to play this ball just short of halfway. It's going to come right to Gareth Widdop. Widdop is going to put that kick high. And it's going to be Oscar Doran on that occasion, and his arms were out in front of him, Oscar Doran. He didn't look the most comfortable, but done well to collect it and has fetched that ball forward and has done well there to get it to the 20-metre line, just short of.
I never like to see wingers stretch out in the way that he did. It's crying out for a knock on, but he did really well there, to be honest, so well played.
So Oscar Doran is going to be fetching, played the ball, and Joey Romeo fetched the ball forward, still just over the 20-metre line, made more metres sideways than forwards there. There's Mason now helping out his forward, so that's going to be the third tackle, and just on the 30-metre line are Whitehaven in centre field. 8.5 minutes gone here in the second half at the Shay. Whitehaven find themselves 22 points to 4 down. King there, is that going to be a 6 again? And it is in favour of Whitehaven as the second effort, and like I say, a lot more emphasis on that infringement being penalised this year, and it's Dion Air now fetching the ball forward. He carries 3 men about 5 or 6 metres with him, showing the strength there does the Whitehaven captain, as the ball is in the hands now of Owen McCarran. Good carry and good stint so far. 50 minutes out there, moving from the second row to the middle. Newton then goes right into King there didn't like the options he's seen on the right hand side and just decided to keep hold of the ball himself there, did the Australian. But Whitehaven now less than 20 metres away. Newton's going to come left to McCarran. McCarran's going to try to find a gap. Still got tackles in the bank here at Whitehaven and less than 10 metres out. Newton going to come left to Jake Carter. Carter then across on the ball to Rio Corkill. There's a 3-on-2. Just was developing there. 5 and last, going to go to Carter. Carter's going to put the little kick forward. Dufresne just seems to come in from nowhere, and he does very, very well to sail in the field of play, although I think the post has come to his rescue there.
Yeah, it was a superb pick-up, to be honest, though, from Dufresne. I mean, you're right, though, the post has come to his aid, but it was good play. This is great.
Fantastic defence from Whitehaven. Exactly. They know they need to get back into this game, and they've just pushed Ben Crooks down 3, 4, 5 metres, and you can hear the Whitehaven fans shouting to our left. They know they need to try and force something. Crooks comes away hobbling, but they've forced the goal line dropout. They know they need to try and get something shortly if they're trying to get anything from this game. Just over half an hour left, goal line dropout forced.
Superb line speed there. They really have upped their efforts, haven't they, Whitehaven? Whatever John Tigoli has said to him, he needs to bottle it and get it said to him every single week, because I tell you what, they're doing well so far in this second half. Still, as we were at half time though, 22-4.
Liam Finn has maybe sensed that he needs a bit of extra power out there, and Adam Tangata has come back on the field to replace Ryan Lannon. So half an hour exactly remaining here at the Shay. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online. McCarran has got through a lot of work in the last sort of 2 minutes, as well as the rest of the half, plays the ball. Ball's in the hands now of Evan Loafer. Whitehaven 15 out to the right hand side of the post, attacking right to left from our position here in the main stand at the Shay. Ryan King's now going to fetch this ball forward. 6 again in favour of Whitehaven, so they're going to have a fresh set of 6 here to try and get past this Halifax side. It's a slow play, the ball. Newton in at dummy half's going to go right into the hands of Hannigan. Hannigan's going to try and get away from the Halifax defenders, but he's not going to be able to. He's taken down now 2-3 metres out. Newton in at dummy half's going to come back towards the middle with McCarran. McCarran's looking to spin in that tackle. The offload, I don't think he was maybe looking for it, but wasn't expected, and it's gone back there into the hands of Ryan King after hitting the floor. Newton waiting in there at dummy half, 10 metres out. Going to be coming into the hands of Carter, then into the hands of Dionair. They're lining up on this left hand side. It's now with Dean Gebby. Gebby's going to try and step inside 1, steps inside 2, steps inside of 3, but the Halifax man was there just to wrap him up.
One step too many, unfortunately.
Certainly was. Newton's going to come down this short side. It is into the hands of Carter. Carter looking for the kick in behind. Mason's looking to get there, and Dufresne's just going to be wrapped up, and he's going to be put in. It's going to be a penalty. Yeah, it was either Corkill or Newton had just got a little bit excited, realised that Dufresne was ever so close to being forced into a goal line dropout, and it means a penalty there to Halifax, and just a slightly relieving penalty as they're able to clear their lines. And to be fair to Gareth Widdop, he's done well there to make it. Well, no, the touch judge has probably gone about 5 or 6 metres further from where that ball actually went.
Yeah, I'm not convinced he went out on the halfway line, to be fair. It was a good kick downfield though.
Well, considering Oscar Doran wasn't standing in front of the halfway line when the ball went out, I'm not convinced either. But Halifax now are trying to get a fast play of the ball, sensing that they need to try and get something further just to dampen the Whitehaven effort.
This is where Halifax are good on the transitions, aren't they? The way they're moving their way forward. They're on the edge of the 20 metre line at the minute.
So it's into the hands of Tangata. Tangata nearly through. Good tackle there from Dionair and Evan Lalver. Inman is then going to come right then into the hands of Fairbank. Out there over the top now. Comes off the hands of Jake Mason. It's going to go into the hands of Oscar Doran, but it did come off the hands of Jake Mason. The ball's hit the floor, so if it would have been a knock-on or a forward pass if Doran had collected on the full. But I feel like it might have been needed there from Mason, or Halifax could have been in for their 5th of the afternoon.
Yeah, I was actually thinking it's a good reaction from Mays on that, to be fair. A really good defensive read. It was tempting. He was never close to actually getting hold of the ball, I don't think, but just disrupting things enough. I'm with you. I think that they got many motion down this right hand side, and it was a dicey situation for Whitehaven, but for the intervention there of Mason. Scrum
down heading feed to Halifax, find themselves 10 metres out, playing it centre field. They're going to go left from the base of the scrum, got numbers on that side. Widdop then finds Crooks on the crash ball, but he's just going to be taken down just short of the line. Whitehaven need to try and stay out here to keep the Panthers from striking. Dufresne finds himself in at dummy half, finds Inman. Inman then going to come across to Tangata. That looks forward. There's a couple of times we've said that this afternoon. It was on to Fairbank, but hasn't been given by any of the officials, and hits the floor now, does Fairbank. 2-3 metres out, just to the right hand side of the post. Going to come out to Keys. Keys then gets it across to Matty G. G's then going to be wrapped up over the line, held up, and it's going to be forced back here to the 10 metre line. Good defence there from Whitehaven.
Yeah, and to be fair, this is about the 3rd or 4th time I think that they've had Halifax up over the line, so there's a lot of good stuff that's been involved in this game for Whitehaven as well, but still, as we were at half time at 22-4.
So G's going to play this ball. Inman in there at dummy half. It's going to go left to Tangata. Tangata then gets it out the back to Keys. Keys looking for the ball over the top, but just passes it inside then to Ben Kavanagh. Kavanagh is going to be taken down 2-3 metres out left hand side to the post. Halifax, they've got to go down that short left hand side. Widdop's going to try and step back inside. You'll hear this place erupted. Widdop gets over, but he's taken down. He's actually going to be held up over the line. Not much of a pressure put on the Whitehaven line on that occasion. Just Widdop there, just pretty much falling over the line rather than trying to put the ball down.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. They've lost the way a little bit for me. Watch them come up with a try scoring move down the left though now.
Dufresne puts a little kick in. It's going to be collected by, it'll be Curtis Tia potentially on that side. No, it's actually Joey Romeo.
Ooh, he did everything he could, Romeo, to get himself back in the field of play.
I mean, I initially thought he was held there, Joey Romeo, and I think he's having that same conversation with the touch judge that, sir, my elbow was, or whatever it was on the ground, and they've started to push me back, but the referee and the match officials aren't in agreement, and they've forced a goal line drop out there, not for the want of effort from Joey Romeo.
I mean, this could be a really interesting period, this Whitehaven. They need to somehow repel this Halifax attack, which is starting to get a bit of a foothold in a decent position again.
Easier said than done, trying to keep this Panthers side out. Whitehaven have found in the opening 20 minutes Jay Carter with the goal line dropout. He's going to get some length on that. He's Jay Carter. In all fairness to him, that's gone 55 metres before being collected by Greg Eden, and then finds Jacob Fairbank, who runs forward powerfully. And he's going to be taken down. Combination of McCarron and Ryan King out there. Inman in the dummy half, going to come across then to is it Connor Davies? Davies is going to be the man that's wrapped up now. Dion Air and James Newton involved there. 6 again given against Whitehaven. That's the first time they've given away a 6 again in this game, but it now means they have a fresh set of 6 as Tangata runs the ball forward. Even then he's going to be scooting from dummy half, throws a dummy there, but then the ball hits the floor and it's going to be a fresh set of 6 for Whitehaven. I think we're going to come back for the scrum, and we are, as Jay Carter wasn't getting anywhere near the 10 metre line.
What a hit it was from McCarron as well, though, to be fair. He judged that to perfection, just hit right under the ball and it just jolted out, did that. There was no chance on earth that Inman was going to keep hold of that.
Impressed me so far as Owen McCarron. He's put in a big stint, obviously moved from the second row to the middle. Whether that was going to be a ploy for Jonty's side, because they are lacking on middles this afternoon. Obviously Lucas Castle was taken ill early in the week, so he did train Thursday night, but must have been picked up in the day or two after, and obviously hasn't been named today. So really short of middles, and he's doing a job out there. Is McCarron at the moment?
He definitely is, and he's mixing it with these Halifax forwards that we've already mentioned. You know, they're a pack to be meddled with at the Halifax this season. They've got some fantastic players at this level of rugby league, and they're holding their own.
Whitehaven forced to repack the scrum again. Referee Cameron Worsley wasn't happy with what he's seeing out there. There's Guy Graham's now coming on the field to replace Evan Lover. Guy Graham's been waiting for around about 3 or 4 minutes, to be fair, but Halifax were dominating the ball, so just had to wait on the touchline, prowling up and down, probably like a panther, waiting to come on there.
I was waiting
the Scottish
for
international.
That one.
Yeah. He's going to. What are we having here now? Cameron Worsley saying something to Ryan King.
He's going to get a second opportunity to play the ball. This is a bit strange.
I don't. He just stopped the play and said, you need to play that again. Why? Do you know what I mean? No one was. There didn't seem to be any. There hasn't been an infringement. There hasn't been anything else. Why does he need to play the ball again?
There was a similar sort of incident in the first half, wasn't there, involving Halifax, where it was just like, no, go and play the ball again. Well,
he's either played it off the mark, in which place it's a penalty, or if it's an incorrect play of the ball, it's a turnover ball, it's an infringement to Halifax. Either way, Whitehaven going to continue to fetch this ball forward now. Dion Ayres is going to be taken down just over the halfway line. 22.5 minutes remain here at the Share. Whitehaven still find themselves 22 points to 4 down. Jake Carter's going to look to put the kick in. It's going to be Jufrey that collects and just passes the ball along to Saltonstall. Good Whitehaven chasing the fact that they're all in at one line there, but and it's now going to be taken down at his Saltonstall, sort of 22 metres out away. Jufrey finds himself in at dummy half. Calcott now comes on to replace Connor Davis as Greg Eden. The ball is going to hit the floor, and it's going to be in the favour there of Hannigan. So Whitehaven have this ball back. Hannigan's nearly through there, and he's going to be taken down. Whitehaven less than 10 metres out now. Can they try and get back into this game? Newton then comes across to Guy Graham. Doesn't score all that often, does Guy Graham, but he's going to be taken down 3 metres out. Newton's waiting there at dummy half, just to the right hand side of the post. Goes down right there. Ben Crooks isn't that fast, I don't care what you say. Must have been offside, but the ball in the hands now with Dion, and I think we're about to get a penalty for offside here. And maybe realised he'd missed something there at referee Cameron Wells, and he's giving it on the next tackle, because Ben Crooks isn't quite Usain Bolt.
I love how the rugby league gods they come in waves, don't they? You know, and I'm with you on that one. This is a deserved penalty for Whitehaven. Should probably have come and played before.
So Whitehaven here, they're going to be stops the clock. Does referee Cameron Worsley. 21 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. It's now McCarron to fetch his ball forward. Gone through plenty of work, has the Australian. Taken down, right hand side of the post, 4 metres out. Into the hands now with Jake Carter. Gebby's now going to have the ball in hand, then gets it across to Jake Mason. I don't think Mason was expecting that. I think he's expecting Gebby to take the step, but collects it does Jake Mason. Then going to go right now into the hands of Carter. Then Dion Ayre, just looking a bit lost when they've got into this sort of red zone area of Halifax's so far this afternoon. Have Whitehaven going to play the ball. Newton's in there at dummy half. It's going to go right into the hands of Hannigan. Hannigan then finds King. There's a bit of space on this right hand side. King's going to keep hold of the ball. Gets the offload away into Shiny, getting into the waiting hands of Romeo, but Romeo just overrun it slightly and wasn't able to collect that ball. It's found touch. Well, as I said there, Dave, Whitehaven just have looked a little bit lost in that red zone, that 20 metre to
Yeah.
try line area of Halifax is so far this afternoon.
It's not going to be through lack of trying, is it, this afternoon? But you do get the feeling there's just a lack of connection between some of these players at the moment. And, you know, to be fair, the main man, Jamie Duran, isn't out there at the moment, is he? And, you know, Jake Carter's doing his level best. There's a new signing there in Lachlan Hannigan. It's going to come for Whitehaven, but it just might take a little bit of time.
So Matty G now fetching this ball forward for Halifax. He's going to be taken down 25 metres away from his own line, sort of 5 metres, so maybe 6-7 metres in from his our near side touchline here. Inman then gets the ball inside to Saltonstall.
Good run.
Saltonstall's going to continue to keep them legs pumping. Good work there from the Halifax winger. He's going to play this ball now. He's trying to get up. There is Owen McCarran to get his but his arm was pinned in the tackle as Fairbank's just going to be picked up and dumped there by Guy Graham. Good work there from the interchange prop, just back onto the field. Tangata now, it's going to be taken down there. Good work from James Newton, just caught the ankle there of Tangata. It's going to be 5 and last. Halifax just over the halfway line. It's going to go left to Keys, as it has done all so often and does all so often for Halifax. Kevy's going to have plenty of time to collect this, but the chase from Halifax is good, one line, and he'll find struggles there to try and get through the line. He's taken down sort of 15 metres out.
Yeah, good play from Halifax then in that set, and a really nice kick. They put pressure on Gebby as well, and it's the first time I've not actually taken an inhale of breath when he's run the ball in. So
Joey Romeo plays the ball now, finds Curtis Tia, Whitehaven's only try scorer so far in this game here, with just over 18.5 minutes remaining. King now with ball in hand, going to try and get Whitehaven to over the halfway line. He's going to be pulled down 3 metres short, with Newton waiting in there at dummy half. Comes across now to Dion there. He does take Whitehaven over the halfway line and nearly through there. Here's the Papua New Guinea, and it is a 6 again in favour of Whitehaven, and it has been a knock on. So if it was a penalty, you might have got back for the knock on, but you're not going to do with a 6 again. And it does mean here that it's going to be a scrum down head and feet to Halifax, and just as Whitehaven have got a fresh opportunity, they've just been able to lose that opportunity, and it's going to be a scrum down to the Panthers.
Well, that was unfortunate, and for a fraction of a second D&I was turning back the clock then, wasn't he? You know, he was showing that little bit of zip that he perhaps doesn't show that often these days, because his game's matured, shall we say, just as he has. Still a fantastic performer for Whitehaven, unlucky there, but yeah. Halifax with another opportunity 40 metres out from their own line.
Yes, it's going to be Zach McComb to look and fetching this ball forward now. He's taken down combination of Carter and Corkill. Inman's waiting in there at dummy half. It's going to come down this short side to G. Carter involved once again on his own, pretty much on that occasion, as Adam O'Brien's going to come back on the field to replace Jacob Fairbank. Widdup in there now. Calcott, who's fresh back onto the field as well. Still no points scored in this second half. We're 23 minutes into it. Keys into the hands now of Ben Kavanagh. Kavanagh then going to be taken down eventually. King and a couple of others, Dion Air and James Newton, involved in that tackle. Inman is going to look to go left into the hands of Keys. Jouffre was an option there, but couldn't get his hands around fast enough there, Keys, to find the Frenchman. And sort of 15 metres out now, O'Brien into the hands now of Tangata. Tangata's then going to be pulled down. That's happened a couple of times in this half there, and referee Cameron Wers, I think, he's just waiting to see there, and he's not quite happy there. Guy Graham is... Tangata wasn't happy with something. Guy Graham then, Calcott's come in, and we're now all going to come in, and it's just going to be handbags at 6 paces, nothing completely in there at the moment.
Yeah, it just seemed to erupt for no reason there at all. If anything, Tangata just was frustrated. He feels that somebody's dropped on his leg there possibly and has lashed out, but yeah, I didn't see there being too much in that instance.
No, and if we're going to get a penalty, I think it's going to be a penalty against Whitehaven, purely because while Tangata wasn't happy and you could see his arm moving, it was Guy Graham who sort of put the first push on there, really, wasn't it? And I think it could be a penalty here to Halifax if he's going to be given anything by the match officials. I just don't see it falling in sort of Whitehaven's favour, but he's just going to have a few words with the sort of touch judges, saying, what have you seen there, what did you see, and see what I've seen, and put together and piece together what they've seen there. And I don't want to take any looks, but Cameron Wers has looked towards Whitehaven's defensive line a couple of occasions now, which tells me if it is going to be any sort of infringement, it's going to be against Whitehaven.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, it's going to be Guy Graham he speaks to first, so it means any sort of infringement there is going to be against Whitehaven, and it's going to be a penalty here for Halifax. We'll just wait and see what's sort of coming out there from Cameron Worsley and see what the decision is. While we're waiting that, we'll run through some scores elsewhere. We're getting into the games now. So it's Bradford 36, North Wales 2, Hunslet 10, Keighley 16. They've turned it round, have Keighley. Rochdale 18, Midlands 20. Midlands led 20 points to 12 at the break. Swinton 42, Westhull 6. Right. And Doncaster have just scored to make it Widnes 28, Doncaster 18. Yeah, and it is going to be a penalty, as I suspected, for the slight push there. That Tangata wasn't happy with something, but he didn't push out, he didn't lash out. He waited for Guy Graham to put the slight push in there. Nothing major in it, but you can't do it. And it now means that Halifax are going to fetch this ball forward. Calcott, he's going to be taken down 9 metres out. Inman waiting in there at dummy half. He's going to go, no, he's going to go himself. The ball looked to be going left to Tangata. He's going to be taken down just short. Is Tom Inman.
Yeah, he's not far off, is he there?
O'Brien in there at dummy half. He's going to go left now into Keys, who gets to Widdop, out the back to Jufre. Good work from Whitehaven, and ball's going to be knocked on there by Whitehaven. Good defensive work once again, and we're just short of, well, just over 15 minutes to go here at the Shade. It's going to be a scrum down, head and feed to Whitehaven. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online.
Absolutely fantastic defence out on that right hand side for Whitehaven. They really did cut the options down there. Jeffrey, it just shows if you get in his face, he's likely to come up with an error or two, isn't he? As good a player as he is, ball in hand, he can't do it if you've got a defence that's moving up on him. And there's so many positives that I think I can take from this last sort of 25 minutes that we've seen of the second half, and the last 20 minutes of the first half as well.
Just that 20 minutes that have really let sort of Whitehaven down, that opening sort of 20 minutes.
I mean, Halifax were brilliant in that period.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, yeah, they were brilliant, the connections were there, but I think it's just seeing what you've seen Widdop going onto the field, and I'm not blaming Gareth Widdop for this. It's just that obviously new in there's a couple of combinations, obviously slightly different to the first half, and I think Halifax are just trying to work them out themselves there. But Corkill's going to play this ball now. Phillips is on back onto the field, as is Ross Ainley to replace Owen McCarran, who's put in a good 65 minutes there, and James Newton who come on from the bench initially. So Guy Graham's now going to be the man to fetch his ball forward as Adam O'Brien picks him up and dumps him safely. Tangata involved in that tackle as well. Going to go right. Hannigan's looking for the 40-20. It's not, the angle isn't going to be right, and Louis Jufre is there to collect that on the full. There's enough yardage on that, but just Jufre just far too good, seeing exactly what was coming.
Yeah, it was a good bit of positioning, to be honest, from Jufre on that occasion. And I just want to say, while we've got this stoppage for injury, what a performance it's been from McCarran. Absolutely brilliant. And James Newton, he just seems to be like a fine wine. Every time he goes out there, he just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds for Whitehaven. What a superb professional player he's been.
So it's Callum Phillips that's down there, so Whitehaven won't be wanting to see that, because he has just come on the field to replace James Newton, so he won't be they won't be wanting to sort of burn their final interchange. I know you're working for League Express this afternoon as well, Dave. If you're picking a Whitehaven man of the match, as I know you have to do, I imagine McCarran's certainly going to be up there.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I've been really impressed with him, to be honest. Also been impressed as well with the first stint on the field from Ainley, and Gebby's been box office. Perhaps a little bit subdued, shall we say, since he got that knock earlier on. But I think for consistency, you're looking probably no further than McCarran.
So Callum Phillips is going to be okay to continue. Was struggling there. The doctor did go out onto the field. Just seemed to be his knee. And when I see Callum Phillips go down with an injury, I always sort of wince, because he had a sort of 15-month rehab pretty much from an ACL injury, which he returned from the back end of the season. So when you see Callum go down holding a knee, whether it's one of either course, you just hold yourself just a little bit. But he's okay to continue. He's a Scottish international. Great hit there. Dion Air. There's a reason they call him the Hammer, and that is why Dave Parkinson.
He let him know about it as well, didn't he?
Certainly
what a
did.
Hit. Superb tackle from Dion, and here's Gebby.
Yeah, Gebby scooting at dummy half, following a Guy Graham play the ball. There's just under 14 minutes to go here at the Shade. He's BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online. It's Halifax Panthers 22, Whitehaven 4. The same score it was at the half-time break. Dion N just nearly fumbling there, but going to get away from one, can't get away from two, as Whitehaven continue now on the attack. He's going to be taken down just 20 metres away. 5 metres in from the far right hand side touchline for Whitehaven. Phillips in there at dummy half. Graham comes out now to Carter, comes across then to Guy Graham.
Good run, good tackle as well, to be honest, from Calcott.
Graham's going to look at playing this ball 15 metres out now, as it's Phillips who goes across to Hannigan. Hannigan then come across to King. Combinations are there for Whitehaven, you can see, and that ball's going to be lost. Penalty for Whitehaven, and then King's going to be taken down to the floor, and we're all going to come in at six paces once again there. This game's just in I'm not going to say
It's
looking
simmering,
at boiling. It's simmering, yeah.
Simmering.
It's not
Nicely
boiling.
simmering.
It's not boiling over. But I think both sides in the last few minutes maybe a little bit frustrated. There's been no points scored. There hasn't been any real stoppages. And who is it that's seen yellow? Is it Ryan King that's seen yellow? So this could be a penalty reversal here. I didn't see what for. He maybe pushed someone there, did Ryan King, but the penalty initially was given to Whitehaven, and King, of course, who spent a few months here at Halifax before making his switch to Whitehaven, back to Whitehaven, as I think he's going to have seen yellow. I didn't see what for, Dave. Did you at all?
No, it seemed to be just in that incident, didn't it, where I think Inman came in and gave him a dig, and maybe he's had a dig back.
So yeah, it's going to be a penalty reversal because the Whitehaven players are sort of coming back here. Dion Ayres, the captain, being spoken to. And initially it was given a penalty to Whitehaven. It's now been changed, and it's going to be. That's a new signal. That's a new signal. That's a new signal on me from Mr. Worsley.
I haven't seen that one before.
I think it's going to be either a push or a shove or something. It might have been just potentially on Tom Inman, as you mentioned there, Dave. But it does mean now Halifax, rather than Whitehaven having to attack their line, they're going to have an opportunity to bring the ball away from their own line. Ball's in the hand now of Adam O'Brien. This will be second tackle. Zimmerman is in there at dummy half, just short of halfway.
He's a fiery player anyway, he's Inman.
Oh, he certainly is. He's going to be taken down now. Is that Halifax man on that side? Who is that? It's Matty. Is it? It's Ben Kavanagh. Yeah, the second rowers on both sides have gone through a lot of work for Halifax this afternoon. With him now with ball in hand. Looks to try and he gets away from.
Can they shut him down altogether though?
From two, can't shut him down at the minute. Gets the ball away. Kavanagh once again and looks for the offload, but the ball's going to be taken down, and the Halifax public in front of us just going a little bit frustrated from what they've seen from Halifax in the last sort of 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was all champagne corks and celebrations in the first 20 minutes, wasn't it? And we've just not seen evidence of that up against this tough Whitehaven defence over the last sort of half hour. They might not win this game, Whitehaven, but I think this gives them a good standing heading into the season and further on, to be honest, and I've been impressed with their efforts. Halifax will get much better, but yeah, you're right, there's a sense of frustration around the ground.
When you're 18 points up to the good, against any side, you should
surely you enjoy it.
Surely you're enjoying it, but they're not at the moment. Are the Halifax public just here at the Shay? There's going to be a penalty for Whitehaven. Dion Ayres sort of caught high, and with 10 minutes 57 on the clock, we have a stoppage. I think as Lachlan Hannigan's going to have ball in hand, he's going to look to put the ball well over the halfway line for Whitehaven to try and mount an attack. Just some other scores. Widnes well in front now. Widnes 40, Doncaster 16, Swinton's gone to 46-6 ahead of West Hull. Rochdale's taken the lead at Spotland 24-20, Keighley 22, Hunslet 10, and at Bradford just down the road at Odsall. It looks like North Wales' only points are going to be the 2 points scored from a penalty in the first half. Bradford 42, North Wales Crusaders 2, as Curtis Tier takes a tap from the penalty 40 metres away from the Halifax line, and T's done well there to make sort of 10 metres as Phillips is waiting in wait at dummy half. He's then going to be into the hands now of Ross Ainley, and Ainley able to get onto his front and try and get a quick play of the ball. Tangata just holds him down slightly. Dion Ayres tries to get back inside of Will Calcott. Calcott trying to find maybe retribution for that hit he got only a few minutes ago from Dion Ayres.
Did he?
He certainly didn't. Phillips now finds Guy Graham. Scottish internationals combining there, gets the offload away to Jake Carter, and Guy Graham just having a set two now with Matty G. In the meantime, Carter's going to play this ball 5 metres out in the shadows of the post. Hannigan now is going to try and get round the Halifax defence. Takes 3 Halifax defenders to bring him down, 5 and last, just in line with the right hand side post, only sort of 3 metres out. Phillips is in there. Is he going to go right or left? He's going to go neither way. He's going to put the little kick forward there, and kind of Widham, of all people, that comes back down and collects that ball, because Dion Ayres was there and he almost grabbed that ball for the 4-pointer.
It was a lovely pick up that. He used all of his experience there to Gareth Widdup to get down on his haunches so quickly. It was a brilliant kick, to be fair, and DNI was right in his eye line. Halifax public screaming for offside down in front of us, but nothing coming from the match officials, as Crooks is now going to fetch his ball forward. He's going to play it on sort of the 20 metre line. Inman's then going to go left now, then into the hands of Ben Kavanagh. Kavanagh's then going to play this ball now, as it's Eden that's going to scoot from dummy half, try and find some yards here for Halifax. He's going to be fetched down on the 5 and last, just short of halfway. It's going to come to Keys. Keys is going to put the kick in.
and he's just going to get it behind Dean Gebby there, and probably what Halifax exactly wanted, just knock the ball out and give your defensive line an opportunity to reset and force Whitehaven to come 90 metres.
He's had a really good game today as Joe Keys. Not only has he popped up for his couple of tries, but he's been the main go-to player for much of the field kicking, and it's sensible. These are little things, fans will look at it and they'll think, oh, they're playing boring rugby, but you've got to control the game, haven't you? You've got to earn the right to move forward, and he's done just that.
Game management, perfect game management.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it because everybody says it.
Cliche, Dave, go along. It's exactly what it is. It's perfect, being perfect game management, and I imagine he won't be too far off for your League Express man of the match for the Panthers. But Whitehaven now going to fetch this ball forward through Jobby Romeo. He's taken down. Phillips in at the dummy half, and Gebby just had to stretch a little bit to catch that ball, but he's able to do so cleanly, and then he's wrapped up 20 metres out.
They're making him work this second half, aren't they?
Maybe just trying to get some fitness into him, because of course it is his first game. He's debuting in a Whitehaven shirt and has had some work in pre-season just to try and catch up with the rest of his Whitehaven teammates. Probably not there 100% as of yet, but if you feel you get 100% match fit Dean Gebby, you'll be interested to see what he can do this season. He's taken down once again now, 5 and last, halfway. Phillips waiting in there at dummy half. He's going to go right to Lachlan Hannigan. Hannigan's then going to put the kick in. Just comes off the boot of Louis Dufresne, and it's maybe where you see the odd sort of issue with Dufresne pulling full-back. He just wasn't quite comfortable to trap that ball and try and bring it forward there. But Halifax now looking to fetch this ball forward. They're trying to utilise a gap on this side as Matty G just pushes off there Jake Mason, but he's taken down. Is Oscar Doran and Jake Carter all involved there as well. It's got to be a penalty.
That's a stupid penalty from Matty G.
I'm just wondering if there's maybe a little bit of leftover, or just known I can wind Matty G up here, can Jake Mason. He knew exactly what to do, and Matty G just wouldn't let go of him. Wouldn't let go of his leg at all.
But I want to praise Mason here, because he's up against a player that's like nearly twice his size. He's brought him down, and then he's probably had a word in his shell. And he's lashed out as Matty G and just tried to grab the leg. It was just, again, words fail me sometimes when you look at players and why they can see penalties.
Twice where Halifax have given away a penalty in possession in this game, and Liam Finn certainly won't be happy with that. But Whitehaven have another opportunity here to try and get some further score on the board. Mason's going to take the tap. They're starting 20 metres out from the Halifax line here, and Rio Corkill's going to be the man to fetch his ball forward. He's taken down sort of 13 metres out. He's trying to get on his front to get a fast play of the ball. Phillips is then going to go right on to Guy Graham. Gone through a lot of work, has Guy Graham, in this especially in this second half.
Whitehaven really deserve a try in this second half. They've been the better team, I think, for much of it.
Phillips has gone right to Hannigan, back inside now to Dionair. Nice to see Lachlan Hannigan's learning the routine of passing back inside to Dionair early in his Whitehaven career. 2 or 3 metres out now. Phillips then's going to come to Carter, back inside to Dean Gebby. Gebby's just not able to collect that ball. I don't think he was expecting that from Jake Carter, and I think it's maybe just that Carter did have the Halifax defender right in front of him and just felt I needed to get rid of this ball.
Yeah, I think whereas I praised the Whitehaven defence before for putting pressure on Chiffre, I think you've got to praise Halifax there. They really did shoot up and put loads of pressure on the player.
So Halifax going to continue to fetch this ball now. I'll be honest, Dave, I didn't quite catch a lot of what you said there with this PA here at the Shay, just giving Joe Keys the man of the match, and the PA, whoever's controlled the music, seems to think he's at a child's disco. We've had the sirens going, we've had this going and that going, and it means Halifax are now fetching this ball forward. Inman in at dummy half, trying to come across to Ryan Lannon. Then his hands now at Keys. Keys gets it across to Kavanagh. Kavanagh throws a dummy. It's going to be taken down over the halfway line.
I'm waiting for the announcement that the Buffy's open.
Oh yeah, it seems to be yours. Halifax are through on that left hand side. Greg Eden throws a dummy. It's going to be Crooks on that left hand side, and it's going to be the first try of the second half, and it goes to the Halifax Panthers. Ben Crooks is going to be the man to get it on that left hand side, and Eden just showed his skillfulness and also a bit of experience. Just a little movement there with the dummy, and it's going to be Crooks going in on that left hand side. And if it wasn't all she wrote earlier on, coming into the final 5 minutes, it definitely is now, Dave Parkinson.
Yeah, he shuffled his way through, didn't he, to be honest, Greg Eden. He's been doing that for years at Super League level. Popped the ball out just at the right moment, flying in at the corner, in for his second try of the game. Ben Crooks, another player that finds himself fairly regularly on the scoreboard. It's deserved, don't get me wrong, and they've earned this win of Halifax, but I just feel it's a harsh scoreline. sometimes you don't get what you deserve out of rugby league, do you? And as I say, Halifax brilliant in the first 20 minutes. For me, ever since that particular point though, Whitehaven have gone toe to toe with them, and it's just so cruel when they get that breakaway. But another bit of class play, to be honest, from Halifax there. And we're going to be talking about this left edge of Halifax all the way through the season, I feel.
Certainly feel we are. When you've got Crooks and Eden, obviously Woodburn Hall, who's only played 40 minutes. You've got Saltonstall and McComb on the other side. I mean, it was a side last season that didn't make the championship playoffs. It was probably a real disappointment to the side that they didn't make the playoffs. They underachieved despite obviously winning the 1895 Cup. They'll feel the league campaign just sort of sizzled out.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's a fair point, and I'm sure that it rests heavy on these players, and it rests heavy on the players that have come in, and they'll be wanting to make amends, as that's a brilliant kick, to be honest, from Giuffre from way out wide to stretch the scoreline on to 28 points to 4 in favour of the hosts.
Yeah, 28 points to 4. Full time now at Odsal. It is Bradford 48, North Wales 2. Still a couple of tight games going round. It's just finished at Southfleet Stadium. Keighley's made it through. They've beaten Hunslet 22-14 in the Yorkshire derby there. Swinton's just got 50 up against Westhull, the NCL side. Widnes have just hit 50 against Doncaster. And after a few rumblings round at Widnes in the last few weeks, Dave, that result will hopefully excite the Widnes faithful.
Yes, I know, certainly I know Alan Coleman pretty well, the Widnes coach, and I'm sure this will lift a little bit of gloom that's been going around there, and fair play to him. He coaches the right way, he does, Alan, gets his side playing some good rugby, and good to see them on the right side of the ledger.
So Ryan Lannon's been judged to have been taken down in there at his second effort. Ross Ainley just lifted his hands up in apology and said, sorry lads, I probably shouldn't have done that. There's going to be a penalty here for Halifax. Keys, who has been named as the Halifax man of the match, has just put this ball into touch, and I think I might have just heard a steep snap down there as that ball ricocheted into it, but game is now back underway with Matty G just fetching this ball forward. Going to be taken down just short of halfway. 2 minutes 40 remaining here at the Shay. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online. Rochdale being able to grab the victory there against Midlands after finding themselves 20 points to 12 down. Scored 2 converted tries to get back into that. Ryan King now just back on the field there, so Whitehaven back up to a full complement of 13. Crooks looked to be going in for his hat-trick on that left hand side, but good work there from Joey Romeo, as they definitely had a man overlap on that side to just sort of bring his opposite number down. 2 minutes 15 left. Giuffre is now going to be the man who needs to get up and play the ball. So he needs to play it back a couple of metres further. There's Crooks is in a dummy half, comes across now to Eden, who seemed to spend a bit of time a bit more further in field in this half as Greg Eden, especially when Giuffre has been in and around the play the balls. Inman's in at dummy half, Lannon plays the ball. Keys now comes across then to Widder. Widder's going to put a kick in over the top. Saltonstall's looking for it. Fantastic take and fantastic finish from Saltonstall over in this right hand side corner. Just realised there he had a bit of space in Saltonstall because Oscar Doran had cut inside, and Saltonstall, to be fair, despite the pressure put on him by Oscar Doran, was able to collect and put the ball down in one movement. And if it was a slant on the scoreline, that probably wasn't deserved a little bit earlier, Dave. They've certainly utilised and cemented their place in the next round, have the Panthers.
Oh, they definitely have. But again, that was a quality kick from Gareth Widder. But he just had the slightest look over to his right hand side, just saw there was a gap that perhaps Saltonstall could squeeze through, but he's been doing that all his career, hasn't he, Saltonstall? He's never given up a lost cause, so maybe other wingers might have thought, hang on, that might be going a bit too deep, but he carried on chasing, got the touchdown. Good play from him.
I think that should be probably our final action of the game here. We're into the final 50 seconds, and Louis Giuffre will take as much as opportunities as he needs and just slows it down here to add the extras on at the Shay. What is it? It is Halifax 34, Whitehaven 4, and you're going to look at the story of the game and you think it'd have been a comfortable victory for Halifax, Dave, but it just certainly hasn't been out there. Whitehaven have tried, and they were rewarded for their efforts, obviously through Curtis Tier, but they probably deserve a little bit more from this game.
I would agree, yeah, definitely. As Giuffre misses with that one.
I'll be honest, I mean, I know the touch judges are a lot closer than we are, but that looked just a sneak over. It must have just fell underneath the bar there from the Frenchman, so it's Halifax 32, Whitehaven 4.
Definitely, yeah, but back on this Whitehaven performance, there is a lot that John Tigala can be really proud of his side. when you're chasing a game as much as Whitehaven were after 20 minutes, I mean, Halifax were so quick out of the blocks. They came up with some, that left edge that I'm going to be talking about all season, scored some tremendous tries. They've really rolled the sleeves up of Whitehaven and probably deserve a little bit more than this 32-4 scoreline suggests.
And they've gone short of Whitehaven and they've collected that of Oscar Dolan, so they're going to have 12 seconds here to try and put one play on 6 again, which isn't going to mean absolutely anything. But Mason's in there at dummy half. Carter is then going to put the kick, he's going to get it across to Dion Eyre, and Dion Eyre, I don't think he realised how little time there was left, and it's just taken that ball forward there as the Papua New Guinean didn't try and put a play on the right hand side, or maybe thought, what's the point, it's not going to mean anything anyways. But full time here at the Shades, finished Halifax Panthers 32, Whitehaven 4.